Can the Cleveland Cavaliers bounce back from losing yesterday to Boston?
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Monday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It is championship week. Yes, conference tournament started last week, but this week, the regular season over in college basketball. All conference tournaments, several championships tonight, several semifinals tonight, and then you got the big boys playing starting tomorrow in the major conferences. So very excited for this week. We have a couple of college basketball selections to get to. But Lee, as you said in the open, we begin in the NBA with the James Harden Bowl. It could be any two teams in the NBA with him. But the 76ers and the Cavs, they hook up for tonight's NBA blowout special.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
Cavaliers back on the floor tonight after they lost to Boston yesterday. So quick turnaround for them. And they get the Philadelphia 76ers coming into town. The Cavs, a 12-point favorite. Lee, what do you like here?
Yeah, so both these two teams not coming in under great circumstances. Cleveland lost yesterday at home to Boston. Almost everyone's losing to this Boston team now. Tatum back now. Boston looks like they're going to be on a roll, really tough out in the Eastern Conference. And Philadelphia, talk about injuries. I mean, no Tyrese Maxey now for this game. They've been without DJ Edgecombe. Also, no Joel Embiid. And it's not just the scoring, Joel Embiid. It's the fact that most teams double team him when he gets the ball. So you're left with two starters, that's it. Kelly Oubre Jr. and also Quentin Grimes. That's it. So, where are they going to get enough scoring here? I know Cleveland's off playing yesterday, but the game is at home again. They've got scoring. They've got guys that can obviously get it up. You know that James Harden is going to be motivated for this game. And I just think that with Harden, Mitchell, and Evan middle, even if Jared Allen doesn't play, he's one of those top guys, top backups. He would start for almost any other team or be the best sixth guy maybe in the league. They're going to be a really tough out here. And I know it jumped up from 10.5 to 12 points, but Cleveland has won 6 of the last 7 meetings when these two teams have squared up and also swept both games in January. I think they're going to do it again here. I'm going to take Cleveland. We're going to go with the blowout special, the Cavs over the Sixers tonight.
All right, we begin that with the NBA. And, a lot of big games in the NBA this week. We saw the Lakers beat the Knicks yesterday without LeBron. And a lot of storylines in the NBA. Also, Jason Tatum's return to Boston. That just helps the Celtics even more at this point. But a lot of college basketball, though, this week, Lee, like we mentioned with the conference tournaments. And, one of the big storylines going into today in the Sun Belt Championship. It's Georgia Southern and Troy. And for those of you that haven't followed it, so the Sun Belt, they did kind of a wacky thing with their tournament, which is actually a little bit it's a little bit innovative. That instead of having some of these top seeds playing 3 and 4 games, and the bottom seeds are playing maybe an extra game or so. No, you're towards the bottom. You got to work your way up to the top. And if you're a 12, 13 seed, you got to win like 6 straight days to get to the championship game. And if you're a number 1 seed like Troy, you only need to win 2 games to win the whole thing. So Troy is in the championship, playing their second game tonight against Georgia Southern. But Georgia Southern has won each of the first 5 games so far. So they got to win 6 games in 6 days to get an automatic berth to the tournament. It's unbelievable. And Georgia Southern beat Marshall yesterday. Now dog against Troy. So, Lee, just a lot of drama there where it's a well-rested team in Troy, but also a team in Georgia Southern playing with a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen that, but I actually like it. I think it's good for college basketball. If you're a 1 or a 2 seed, why should you have to play 3 or 4 games to win a conference tournament. So innovative, but maybe it's something that some of these other conferences, end up, going towards in the future. So you see it many, many times, and we'll talk about these conference tournaments as we get closer. Tuesday and Wednesday, the bigger conferences starting, but I think it's good because you see so many of these top seeds, they end up losing. They're looking forward to. They know that they're going to be a 1, 2, a 3 seed, and not that much difference between being a 1, 2, and a 3. So they figure, why should we go all out and show everything, and when we're going to be playing, in 4 or 5 days later when we can rest our guys and just get ready for the tournament. So something different, but you got to take all these things into account. There's a lot of things that go into these conference tournaments. These small tournament teams, almost all the time, they've got to win the conference tournament to get in here. So you're going to see some teams that might match up well with the other team, and the line might be 3 or 4. I've seen a lot of games go down to that last possession. So, yeah, you'll see a few blowouts, but a lot of times those, 1.5, 2, 3-point lines, if you like the favorite, play the money line. Laying maybe 120, 125, 130. You don't want to get beat by a hook or 1 point. Just take the money line. That's always been my philosophy in these 1, 2, 3-point games when you're taking the favorite.
Now, what about in these mid-major tournaments when you look at pressure on the top seeds? That UNC Wilmington and Navy were 2 teams that were great in the regular season, were top seeds, and both got bounced. So now they're not going to get into the NCAA tournament. I mean, there's an argument with Miami of Ohio that they need to win out, and they're 30-0, and they need to win out. So obviously, Navy and UNC Wilmington needed to win their tournament to get in. They're probably relegated to the NIT. So when you look at playing against maybe those top seeds in these mid-majors that need to win, the pressure's definitely on these teams because, like Troy tonight, for instance, Troy's not getting in if they don't win this game tonight.
Right. Yeah, there is pressure. Miami, Ohio, I think is in, no matter what.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're in. But Troy, teams like Troy. Now, if the line, let's say that might be a better opportunity for an in-game wager. So let's say the line is, let's say they're winning by 2, 3, 4 points. 8-10 minutes to go in the game. Then you might want to take the underdog because that pressure is clearly going to be on Troy, and you're saying, oh, okay, maybe the team that's played a bunch of games in a row still does have enough, but then again, they can also blow out, a team. You got to take all the circumstances into account in all these games because, Troy could win that game by 20, 25 points also. So what I do though is some of these games, Monday and Tuesday and even Wednesday, I cut down on my wager unless I really love something. You don't have to play, 5, 6, 7 games. You don't want to go into the Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, down a lot of money because you were wagering on games you didn't have a real strong opinion on. And also the tournament starting, the play-in games next Tuesday. So if you've got a decent bankroll, you're not going to increase it that much by going big on games. So kind of limit your bankroll and watch some of these games. And, there's nothing wrong with watching a game, let's say like this Troy Southern Miss game or one of the games I'm going to discuss later, to see if you see something for later.
All right, we're going to talk more about the tournament, obviously, throughout the week. Now let's go to our second blowout special in the Coastal Athletic Association.
Oh, boy. Last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
CAA, we're down to the semifinals there. The top seed UNC Wilmington, they got knocked out. So we are going to look at Monmouth and Campbell, as Lee Sterling describes it. It's the Carolina and Duke type rivalry of this conference. So when you get these two teams together, it should be pretty good because they split their 2 meetings. But we're going to take Monmouth tonight They are laying 2 to Campbell, and here's why. First of all, Campbell was the team that knocked out UNC Wilmington. They actually played very, very well. They opened things up late in the first half and blew them out in the second half. So now Campbell riding off that. They played with double revenge yesterday against UNC Wilmington. So now you're playing Monmouth, a team a little lower on the rung in the Coastal this season. But Monmouth, though, still 18-14 overall. They've won 4 in a row. They shut down Drexel yesterday, 65-57. And when you look down the stretch at what Monmouth has done, they've won 6 of 8. The 2 losses came to UNC Wilmington, and Charleston was a pretty good team, even though they got knocked out yesterday. Also, Monmouth has pretty good defensive numbers as far as it goes in the Coastal, where Campbell, they're a team that's really not great defensively. They're going to try to outscore you, but they were second in the Coastal this year in defensive 2-point percentage, ranking 11th. They were 9th in defensive 3-point percentage. They were 10th in defensive efficiency in the Coastal, and as evidenced by allowing 89 to Stony Brook in the first game. They did allow 70 to UNC Wilmington yesterday, but still, they didn't play great down the stretch. They are playing with some momentum, but I think here there's a letdown spot for Campbell. Let's back Monmouth here as a short favorite against Campbell in the CAA semifinals as our college basketball blowout special.
I didn't know all these facts. I hadn't got to that game yet, so it's about some pretty strong facts for backing them. So Monmouth, certainly not going against Monmouth today.
No, you got to go against the Camels of Campbell. So we'll see how that one goes. We do have one more play coming up in the Horizon League. Good one between Northern Kentucky, the Norse, and Wright State, the top seed. We're going to talk about that coming up. That is all straight ahead here on the Monday edition of Locked On Bets. Let's talk now about FanDuel, and we have reached March. Thankfully, we have reached March, and that means college basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night, from early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts. There's always action on the board, and now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with a college basketball parlay profit boost. You could build any college hoops parlay you want. It's up to you, really. And there's so many choices. You have games today, several championship games, several semifinal games. Also, starting tomorrow, you get the ACC going. We get the Big East, a couple days, the SEC and the Big Ten and the Big 12. So there are so many conferences and so many games for championship week that you can look at to build this parlay, whether it's spreads, totals, player props. You have plenty of choices at your fingertips. So go safe, go bold, ride with the team you've been following all season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Monday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. And now we shift our attention to the Horizon League, where they have their semifinals in Indianapolis tonight with 4 teams remaining. And we're going to focus now on Northern Kentucky and Wright State for our wrong team favorite.
What the WTF?
Wright State finished 15-5 atop the Horizon League this year, and they draw the Norse of Northern Kentucky, who we've seen in the tournament before. They've definitely made a lot of progress over the last few years in their adjustments to the Horizon League and to Division I. But right now, they're a team that was just in the middle of the league standings at 10-10. So, Lee, what do you like here? Can Wright State knock off the top seed Northern Kentucky?
Yeah, overall records, though, not much difference. If Northern Kentucky had won both games instead of lost both games against Wright State, you might see Northern Kentucky as a couple-point favorite here, but just didn't shoot well from the three-point line. And also, a couple of their players got into foul trouble early in both games and just lost, shootouts, lost 92-91 and 88-80 in both games. Tough to beat a team 3 times in a season. So I didn't see much difference in these two teams. And when I watched one of the earlier games, and Northern Kentucky's getting 1.5 here, and I'm going to take the 1.5 here in Northern Kentucky. I think they're going to shoot better from the 3-point line. Also, playing on a neutral court that can make a difference here also. So I like underdogs here in semifinals and finals when the line is short here. I think the pressure is on Wright State is that number 1 seed. So I'm going to take the 1.5 here in the Norse. I'm going to ride them here. It's going to be my wrong team favorite.
All right, looking forward to that in the Horizon League tonight. Robert Morris and Detroit Mercy, the other game. And then we'll see those two teams, whoever the two winners tonight, play for the championship for that league. So, Lee, a very busy week coming up, obviously, heading into Selection Sunday, but a lot of action this week. Tournament begins next week. So, Paramount Sports, so many things going on with the college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, the tournament is right here. We've already, in these conference tournaments, which is fun, and we're ready to go. We are ready to go. And if you want to join us, you can get every game from today all the way through the March Madness final. A month from now, Monday, April 6th. So you want to join us. Normal price last year was $397, not $397 or even $297. Just $197 gets you every college basketball selection we're going to have. You're looking at probably like 45, 50 selections easily over that time. So you want to hop on board, just one place, ParamountSports.com, or call us 800-400-9741.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets, as well as find the podcast version on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Type in Locked On Bets and you'll be all set. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.